So Dr. Avinash Mishra is CEO at Grodia Technology Private Limited. Before Grodia, Dr. Mishra had a 4-year prior experience of running a startup. He is also an Indo-Australian Gold Fellow at Griffith University, Australia. In Grodia, his role includes heading R&D activities, techno-commercialization of the products to be developed, focusing on machine learning technique and its application in various domains. Dr. Mishra at Griffith University worked on computational drug design, protein structure prediction, and implementation of machine learning approach to solve biological and chemical problems. So welcome, sir, at our platform, and we are honored that you accept our proposal for delivering session for our organization. And with these words, now I am handing over session to yourself. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Praveen. In this session means not only today's session, but for the next almost like 10 sessions, we are going to learn definitely the basic. We will start with basic of Python, that how we can, use the Python for whatever the problem that we are dealing with, the scientific thing that we are doing with, and then what are the different tools and techniques or the programming skills that one should have before using the Python as a programming language. Okay, so first thing I would like to know means if you guys have already Anaconda installed on your system for maybe for any prior usage or not. You can use the chat box. So the chat box that you can type. Okay, so I can see one no and few yes also. Okay, so those.
Sorry, sir. We usually keeps this Anaconda introduction in our Linux session, but this time we keep it for you.
Okay, no, that's fine. So what we can do is those who doesn't have Anaconda, and it's very easy. If you are using Windows, that is super easy. You can just go to Google and type Anaconda download. Okay, so maybe I can share my screen and show you that what exactly I'm talking about. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. You just need to type Anaconda install and go to the first link, which is for Windows. And you just need to download this Anaconda installer, which would be exe file. So you do it if you don't have it, because for the rest of the session we are going to use this, so it is very required. And by the way, what is Anaconda? So it is a complete package where you will get different kind of IDE, integrated development environment that we say, and one of the IDE for this is Jupyter, which we are going to use. Okay, so that's why it is easier for, I mean, you can also install Jupyter separately and install Python separately, but I think it makes everything very easy. But if you have Anaconda on your system, okay, so you just have to download, and like any other software, you just click and go for installation process. So somebody asked that mini Anaconda. I don't think so that, that also works, but it is always advised that use the pure complete Anaconda. That is better than the mini Conda. So, okay, because, you won't be able to install once again Anaconda, or, if you are using the mini Conda. So from the beginning, if you are a beginner, just use the Anaconda itself. Similarly, you can also have the installation on Linux. So on installing it on Linux, once again, there are a set of commands, And these are very basic commands. If you are using Linux, you must know this, and then you can install it on the Linux. So I hope that you guys are installing when I'm talking about this. No, you just install Anaconda, you will get that. You will get the Python. So that's why I'm saying this is like the complete package. You have, option to install different packages of or different version of Python. And for that, you need to create environment on Anaconda. But the base environment will have a Python. We can see that what kind of Python it has. Just let me know once it is installed. See, that's all up to you, Rachel, that if you want to code with the Python itself, not on Anaconda, but believe me, it will make your life very easy later on. Okay. And you must have Jupyter, even if you have, if you don't want to go for Anaconda. Okay. Okay. So Anaconda, Windows and Linux, it's about what operating system you are using. If you are using Windows, go for Windows. No, I mean, if you have Anaconda in Windows, can I install this in Ubuntu? So are you using dual operating system? Okay, just let's not make this story complex because this is just the installation part. You just use the Windows for doing all your work and for using this Anaconda. Okay. So let me know once. So how many of you have it now or don't have it? How many of you don't have it? Just let me know if you don't have. Okay, so you guys are raising hand. Okay. Okay, so you want me to wait? Yes. And don't send me any direct message because I don't want to go on that mode when I'm replying it and it is only going to one person. Okay, installing. Okay, it will take like maybe 2 minutes if your internet speed is good and your system is, decent enough with configuration. Okay, I can see that 6 of you have raised your hand. So is it installed now or it is still installing and the installation is in process? Okay, so installing in process. Okay, so meantime, maybe we can talk a little bit general on programming. Okay, so let it go, let it process this installation part. Once it is done, maybe in next 2-3 minutes we will back to this. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to know from most of you, or if all of you want to respond, that's great. So all of you are from the biology background or doing something in bio domain or life science domain. Is there anyone who is not at all from the biology domain or life science? Anyone? Okay. Molecular biology, biology. Okay. No biology. So I can see one person with no biology. Biostat is also in under the same umbrella. So genetics, biology. Okay. So yeah, so till now I have just seen one person who said no biology. Otherwise, okay, veterinary science, and that is also fine. Okay, so thanks. Now the question we all, I mean, you all have to think about that why we need to learn programming, why it is important to learn programming, uh, and what do you think that why we should know at least one programming language? Doesn't matter what you are, whether you are a molecular biologist or biotechnologist or immunology guy, but you need to know at least something. Not you need not to be expert or at a very advanced level, but to analyze and interpret data. Why to analyze and interpret? We can analyze and interpret without knowing the programming. For easier data analysis, what exactly you mean by easier data analysis? Like if somebody doesn't know programming, is it not possible for them to go to Excel and just use it to handle large data set? Okay. To handle large data set is yes, to some extent, yes. Okay, anything more, or you can think about why, the word programming itself saying that what is the core reason of having the programming skill? To adapt existing pipeline and a script match our need to store huge data for coding. Of course, for coding. So that the question is why we need to code, develop algorithm to process our data. Okay, but as I said, means we can do it without programming to analyze huge data set accurately and robustly, overcome repetition. Okay, yeah. So this is very important, and this is what exactly I was looking for. The word programming said that something which is programmed, right? So it will always do the same task once you have your code for any particular process or any particular requirement. Next time when you need to do this, you need not to put the same effort, right? So this is the reason why we need programming. When we have a repetitive task or something which we are doing on a regular basis, I think the programming skills are very much required. At the same time, sometimes when the things which are beyond our calculation, beyond our understanding, that is also the situation when we use programming, like machine learning, right? So machine learning is also a kind of situation when the data set is so large that we may not be able to draw a conclusion by looking at the data, because of our limitation, due to our limitation to understand that size of data. Okay. So as I said, that when the data set is huge, and that is one situation when we use programming. The other, when we have a repetitive task. Okay. So once you code, it will always work in the same fashion until unless you change the condition or situation. Okay. Now I believe that most of you should have this Anaconda. So what you need to do now is go to start of your Windows and search for Anaconda. Okay, all apps, you can search in all application and then look for Anaconda, and it will say Anaconda 364-bit. somewhere on your all application, at maybe at the very beginning, because it is starting with A. So you can find it at the top, that Anaconda 364-bit. Can you find it? Or did you find already the Anaconda 64-bit? In start menu, Anaconda 3. Okay. You want me to share this screen? I have to share my screen, but I was just waiting for the next move. Okay, so all of you can see my screen, and you need to go to start this Windows button, and then here in my Windows, all apps, and the moment I click this, I can see this Anaconda 64-bit. So can you see this now on your system? This Anaconda 64-bit, and I can expand it, and then I can also collapse it. So we need to start this PowerShell prompt, Anaconda PowerShell prompt. Okay, so how many of you, how to open if it is installed in this? Okay, so that is, so if it is installed on Ubuntu, just open your terminal. You can you can run this Anaconda also on what do you say, on your Ubuntu, but on Ubuntu you can directly start the Jupyter notebook. You just open your any terminal and you write Jupyter notebook. So we are going to do the same thing here. So let me first close. I have already opened it. So let me first close it. Okay. So how many of you found this Anaconda? Can you type in the chat box? Done. If you found it, okay, so you guys found it. Why we are using PowerShell? You can go to CM command line also, means just typing CMD. Okay, so on Mac, Anaconda Navigator, you can just open that Anaconda Navigator also. So maybe this one. So you cannot find it. So are you sure that you have already installed the Anaconda? Yes, you can open it through Anaconda Navigator also. So if I click the Anaconda Navigator, I will get the option for Jupyter Notebook. So this is what, but this is a bit slow. So that's why I don't use it. So the moment I said Anaconda Navigator, the first option, so then I can see this kind of window. This kind of window, and here you can find the Jupyter Notebook, and you can say launch. But this I would not prefer. So so the better thing would be you just close it. I don't want to use it. If you want, you can go ahead. But I always prefer to go with the prompt. Okay, and this time I'm doing it. So all of you guys can see that this is my Anaconda PowerShell prompt. Okay. So my file, because I have already created the Jupyter file. So my file is somewhere else. So first I need to change the path, but for all of you, that is not required or not mandatory at least, because you don't have any specific location. But if you want to change, you can go there. No, it should be available on Mac, Siddharth. Unfortunately, I have not used Mac yet, but I think on Mac, if you open the command prompt, can you open the command terminal on Mac? And then, in fact, on the Anaconda Navigator itself, you can find this prompt option, PowerShell. I think I just close it, but if you open it again, you can see that on the terminal itself, on the navigator itself, there must be something which is saying command prompt. By the way, this is very easy for people who are using Linux. So for Linux, you just open your terminal and say Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so let's come back here and see that once we have opened this PowerShell prompt, because I'm then comfortable to going anywhere. So that's why I use this. So I went to D drive saying CD D colon. I think this you have already done it in the last last session on the Linux. So some of the commands of Linux is working on this PowerShell prompt. So once you go to D drive, so I have this. Okay, so this is my directory where I have my Jupyter file. So I will come here and say Jupyter. You can launch Jupyter Notebook from anywhere. Okay, for launching it, whether you are using Mac, I believe on Mac also it should be same, and on Linux you just open your this terminal, and on Windows you need this Anaconda PowerShell prompt and say Jupyter space notebook. If somebody is not on mute, my request is that please be on mute. I can that there is some voice coming. Okay, so please be on mute. If you have anything to say, you can just ask me, you can raise your hand. Okay, fine. Jupyter Notebook, and you just enter, hit the enter button, and then it will open a browser. So on my case, it is opening it in Firefox. And then, you can see your files, whatever the files in that directory. So it is only Jupyter space notebook. There is no hyphen in between. So can you see this? Jupyter space notebook. Okay. So I did that, but this is okay. So have you installed Anaconda? Whoever is asking this question. So can you type Anaconda and say tab and then press tab, the keyboard button tab. You type anaconda and all in lowercase and say tab. Is it suggesting anything? Are you getting few options? If no, then I believe that maybe you do not have this anaconda. Because if it is, then you will get this anaconda hyphen navigator as one of the suggestion. So this is not Linux, so I cannot show you that. But on Linux, once it is installed, you say anaconda, say tab, you will find this option anaconda hyphen project, anaconda hyphen navigator. So all these options would be there. Okay, so if it is not, please reinstall, I think, or you need to install it. So how many of you now have this Jupyter, just this Jupyter thing on your browser, saying on local host? Okay. Okay, fine. Good. So I think many of you have this. Okay, so now let's understand means what is Jupyter, because now we are going to use this Jupyter file or Jupyter platform. So as I said that there are many environment or integrated environment. Okay, Jupyter notebook without hyphen. Yeah, I said there is no hyphen required. Okay, so what did I say? That there are many environment where that can be used in programming, and it is called IDE, which stands for integrated development environments. So what it provides us? It provides an environment where you can do your coding very easily. Okay, what do you mean by very easily? Is that it has many features. Every IDE has a set of features, like, you know, it can suggest you, it can easily find the error, is it can locate the error. Okay, so those things are there, and that's why people prefer to code on these kind of IDE. Okay, uh, you may code it, you know, even in a um, plain text file, and then make the extension of that file as .py, but you know, it's always easier. So we prefer, or people, most of the people are coding in Jupyter because there are lots of advantage of coding in Jupyter. But Jupyter is only providing you the interface. Okay, so it is nothing very special. So it is only providing you the interface. Like when we do coding on R, there is the IDE for R is called R Studio. Okay, so R Studio is functioning same as the Jupyter is doing for Python. Okay, so once we open it, whatever the file you see, because you might not have any Jupyter file if you have not coded in the past, but I do have. So in your case, what you need to do is you need to go to this new and click new. And what are the options? When you click new, what are the options you can see there? Type the first option, just the first option, type the first option that you can see once you click new. Python 3 IP kernel. Okay, what is this? Okay, IP kernel. Okay, Python 3, Python terminal. Terminal is the last option. Okay. Okay, so yes, Python 3, Python 3, Python 3. Okay, so can you see this? So this is the Python version that we have. So you remember that you have just installed Anaconda and you automatically get this Python also. Okay, if you only see Python 3, no IPY kernel, fine, no issue. But you must have this Python 3 option and you need to click this Python 3. Okay, just click the first option. Okay, what happened? Okay, once you open it, you will see a new file for a Jupyter notebook. I think there is something slow on my system. Okay, so let me just relaunch it. Yes, another web page, the another tab. Okay, I'm just doing it. Python 3. Yeah, so the moment you launch it, you will see something like this. It brings me to another web page. Jupyter Notebook, the term Jupyter is not recognized as a... So what is this? Jupyter Notebook. Everything should be in lowercase. Jupyter is not recognized as a name. I don't know what exactly you are trying to say, where you are getting this error, Mehtab. Did you type it on your Anaconda prompt? Jupyter space notebook? Yes, sir, Anaconda prompt. Okay, so on Anaconda prompt, you typed this and then you are seeing this error, is it? Okay, so if that is the case, maybe and what it is saying, is it saying Jupyter is not installed, something like this? Okay, let me check your chat. Jupyter, the term Jupyter is not recognized as name, CMD let function script file or operable program. I think you are not on Anaconda prompt. Are you on Anaconda prompt or you are just on the Windows prompt? Even on the Windows prompt, it will work. Okay, how many of you can see this kind of, where it's gone? Just hold on. Yeah. So how many of you can see this kind of, yeah, the browser? I can see. Yes, sir, I can see. Okay. So if you don't have Anaconda PowerShell, I think that is fine. If the Jupyter is there, you can launch the Jupyter. I can see. Okay. Which I can't share the screenshot. Where you share the screenshot? Okay. Okay, so let me just help one of our participant, and this is not only for him but also for others. So Mehtab, can you share your screen? Yes, Mehtab, you can share your screen. I have given the permission. You can share the screen. Can you do that? Otherwise, I won't be able to see your screen. Are you doing it or not? Yeah, okay. Anaconda Pass. So this is Mehtab's screen right now in front of you. Okay. What is this mini anaconda, right?
I think he has changed the path.
No, that is okay. There is no such thing. So what it is saying, orange mini conda, right? So this is not the anaconda, the complete anaconda. What exactly it is? Why it is saying this? So you install it from here. Yeah, this is what you are trying to say. Yeah, so it looks like anaconda. So you just close this terminal and open it once again from where you have opened. Okay, okay, this one, the upper one. Yes, open it. Okay, say Jupyter Notebook. Okay, Jupyter is not required. Say pip install, pip. You type pip install. I install Jupyter, space Jupyter. What is this? I think do you have the other version of Anaconda also already installed on your system? It looks like that you do have something else.
I have a mini Conda in Ubuntu, but not in Windows.
Okay, so so let me just see that. Once again, go to start. I mean, it may take a little bit more time. Can you find the Jupyter itself? Go to start.
Okay.
Go to start menu and type Jupyter. Okay, go to Anaconda Navigator. I think that might definitely work. Yeah, the next one. Yes, click it, and it may take some time. And it looks like your system. Okay, let it happen, and then you can see Jupyter Notebook. And all of you guys, now you must have understood that we need a kind of IDE for making the coding part easier. Otherwise, that is okay even if you don't have, but it is always preferred. So just have it. Don't have mini conda and other stuff. Just go with the full anaconda. Let's be on the same page. Okay, so loading application, loading environment. Open it. There is one. Yeah, just open that. Okay, so go down. What it is saying down method. So
It's running the updating package index.
okay, is scroll is not working.
It's saying updating package index and metadata.
Okay, fine. So the Jupyter notebook, which is there in front of you, you can see that, right?
Yes, sir.
even you can see the PowerShell prompt, but now we have already this. So I would just want to see below the Jupyter notebook, whether it is written launch. Yes. So you just launch it up. Okay. Yeah, Jupyter. Does he look for Jupyter?
So I have Jupyter Lab here. Jupyter
No,
Lab.
in the second row, the first item.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, launch it. Okay, so it will launch the Jupyter notebook. Don't worry. Okay. Now can you, yeah, so this is launch, right? You can see it. Now you go to go to new Python and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now you just need to stop sharing.
Okay.
Okay, so all of you, I think I just did that because if anyone else is also having the similar problem, they are facing any similar problem, go to Anaconda Navigator, and that is the safest way. Okay, now, so this is the place where, you know, we write our code, and this is called cell. So you can see that right now. I can put my cursor here, and it is the place where my cursor is, the rectangular box. That box is called cell, and actually we are coding in that rectangular box. Okay. Now let me start with today's file. So okay, so there are some basics. So let me now just close this video thing. Okay, so you can see that this is already prepared one for explaining that what we are going to cover. Okay, but you must have something like that what we have already seen it here. Okay, this one we have already seen here. Fine, but this is something which I prepared already, but that's just for explanation, and I'm going to share this with you. So we have already seen that the whole thing that whatever we are doing to write a code on Python. Okay, so, and you must have heard a lot about this language, and especially in the current time when we are doing lots of data analytic stuff, then we are talking about Python, because Python is not something new, right? So Python is there for a long time, but now it has been developed a lot, and as a programming language it has been developed, and there is a special need for using this programming language because of the data that we have, and it is very easy with Python to handle that kind of data for building that kind of machine learning model. Okay, and there are lots of libraries already defined in Python, which would be highly useful. Okay, now the first thing that I already told you, so if you see this here, what I'm saying is that the Python programming files. So the basic Python programming file is when you write it in any kind of even in notebook, and you save it with a .py extension. And if you are doing so, it might be little technical or challenging, I would say, when you are not using any IDE like Jupyter, and you are just typing it in a notebook kind of environment. You do have some other environment which is designed only for making .py file, which is like Spider. You can see that Spider on Anaconda itself, like Jupyter. But the advantage of Jupyter is that you can track your program very easily. You can see the error. You can execute line by line. Lots of you can always switch from one point to another point very easily in the program. So and we will see all these things, that how we can do it. Okay, so that's why, people started using Jupyter a lot. Okay, and once you have a Jupyter file and you save that Jupyter file, first thing, the moment you start, this one, the moment we started, we said new Python 3, one file is created which is called untitled. Okay, you can see this is a file. You can always change or rename it by going there, and it will ask you that what the name. So you can say my first code, okay, MFC, okay, and just renamed it. So now I can see MFC. It has already been saved. That is also one benefit of using this. Okay, so there is something which is called cell, where we are typing our command, where we are and we can execute it also. So I will just switch from this and this, between these two, because to make you understand, and you can also practice with me. Okay, so let's say that this is my cell. I want to add one more cell. I have to go to this plus sign, and this plus sign would add a cell below to the existing cell. Okay, like this. If I want to delete, it will delete the existing cell. Okay, there is a shortcut also. We can have A and B to insert the cell above and to insert the cell below. Okay, so let me just first insert two cell, and you need not to be inside this, because if you are inside and you'd say A, it will type the A. Okay, so you need to click somewhere here. Okay, somewhere just beside this, outside this rectangular box, so that the whole cell is selected, and don't be inside this. So outside blue color and say A, so it will add one cell below it. Say B, it added, although we are not able to recognize, so we can do that. Suppose this is just, I'm writing B just to identify, and here I went here, to this cell and say B. So you can see that it is adding one cell above. Okay, so that is a shortcut, but we also have something like plus sign and the scissor sign to cross and and to add. Okay, now once you write anything inside the cell, okay, once you write anything, the code, right? So normally we write code. We do have a cell type which is called markdown. So that markdown means that if you write anything, that will not be treated as a code. So you can see here that all these, this is the whole Jupyter file. It may not look like a Jupyter file now, but actually it is. You know how? So this is my cell. Okay, so this is something which I have coded here. So you can also do this. Okay, so where is the chat? Just wait. I'm just using the chat and I'll paste it there. So you paste this thing in any of your cell, or maybe the first cell itself, and don't do anything, just paste it. Okay, paste it and go to cell, from this menu, select cell and go cell type and say markdown. Okay, the moment you click the markdown, now this is it, this cell becomes a markdown cell. It is not the coding cell. Okay, so this is how I created all these stuff. I wrote it down and make it like a markdown cell. Okay, now how to execute that cell? So this is right now written here, but not executed. So This is a very common mistake people do at the beginning, that they think that writing means execution. Mostly for someone who is not from the programming background, they think that if I write something, it gets executed. No, you need to execute that, whether it's a code or it's a markup thing, right? So this markdown thing, okay. Now for execution, there is a button called run. Very easy. You select your cell, and that doesn't matter whether you are inside. So just be inside here, and then you say run. And now it is executed. And this Python review, which is written in front of you in black and bold, that is the output. Okay. But as you can see that this is not a code. This is just a, just a simple English words that we want to write it down, and saying that's where do I get the Python review? Where do I get this Python review page from? Which one? Are you saying this one? Tehmina, are you referring to this? Yeah, this is the code. This is the whole Jupyter file I have written for you guys. So you will get it from me, of course. Right? But let's first, understand whatever is written here, and then you will get it at the end. Okay, so this is how you run it. How to put color. So that part is not very important for putting color. You can put color, and I think I do have some option. But anyway, so main part is right now coding. You can see about the markdown. So markdown is mainly when a programmer write a code and he wants to explain that code, or he wants to keep the explanation within the code itself. So, but it can also be used for this kind of situation where I'm explaining something to the participants. Okay, so one way is select this and say run. Another one is you come here and say shift enter. So this is easier. So shift enter means run and go to the next cell. So you can see this shift enter means runs the current cell and select the below cell. It will go to the next cell. Control enter means only running the selected cell. Okay. And alt enter means that it will run the current cell and insert a cell below. Okay. So that all depends on you, what kind of command you want to run. If you say shift enter, it will run and go to the next cell. If you say control enter, it will only run this, not going anywhere. And if you say alt enter, it will run and add one more cell after this. Okay, fine. So can you see this Python review, this thing at least? Yes. Now this is the markdown. So of course, this is not of great interest, but there is something which is of our great interest, that is the coding part. Okay. So for coding, you need not to make it anything, because by default, it is a coding cell. If you want to make it markdown, then you have to make changes. Otherwise, it's a default coding cell. Okay. So suppose if I write, what is the difference between alt enter and shift enter? See here, can you see this? So if you want, I can zoom in. Okay, fine. Now the next thing is the coding part, like when you are trying to make this cell as a coding cell. So you just type your command. So print is a function, a library function, which is there already in Python, and we are typing it, or we are calling it and saying that, okay, print my first code and say shift enter. So the output of your cell would be below this cell, okay, in the white space. So this is the output, if there is any output for that given cell. Okay, if there is no output, all good, it will not show anything. If it will have any error, it will show it in this white space. Okay, so all of you just do this, just to know that how to execute a coding cell. You are typing this, print this, and it is just printing it. Nothing very special, but you should just type and run it to have a feel that how you can run your code later on, that we are going to learn very soon. Okay, all of you. Type yes if you have done that. I know it's a very simple thing, but even we need to do the simple things also. Okay, okay, fine. So this is how we run the or execute the code. Okay, now the very first thing that for today's class, I think I have covered whatever it was supposed to be covered in today's class, but we do have a couple of minutes left, and data types I will start in tomorrow's session. But what I want to discuss with you now, and just if you want to close, you close it like the tab you close, like the any browser tab you close. Okay, I close it and it is gone, and the next time if I need to start this, okay, if I sorry, the screen is not shared. Okay, next time what I will do, I will, okay, so this is also need to be killed, the Jupyter the Anaconda prompt. Okay, no issue. Okay, so I'll come back here like Anaconda, go to D drive and blah blah, and then once again I will say Jupyter notebook. It will go to the home folder where you have started this Jupyter notebook, and then I can find this MFC IPYNB. IPYNB is a extension for a Jupyter file, right? So in the last NB stands for notebook, like Python notebook, and you can view your code once again back, and then you can type and add more cells. So this is the advantage. This is the great advantage that you can type small piece of code and execute and see that whether we are going in a right direction or not. Okay. Now, before ending this session, one thing which I would like to discuss verbally, that in programming, something which is, I think, the most important part is function, right? And you should have a clear understanding of function. I mean, conceptually, you should understand it. Okay, so when we say function in program, so what does it stand for? So it stands for definitely the name itself suggesting that it is something related to some kind of work, right? The function, it has to do some work. So in programming, functions are like set of instructions, okay, set of instructions which collectively called or known as function. Okay, now this set of instruction can be user defined. We can also define, we can also create our own function. And some of the function is not defined by us. It is already there in library, which is called library function. Okay. And we are going to use many or a large number of these kind of library function. Okay. So this thing I wanted to tell you before we are going further. So can you tell me that in today's session, have we used any function yet when we are coding? Yes, no? Print, right? So this is the function. Print is the function. So how you identify a function? So the syntax of the function is it starts with its own name, like print is the name. Then you have a braces, like that braces we have. Now you can see that Anupam written here that print and then braces. Now inside this braces or bracket, if whatever you get inside this bracket is called argument. Now some function does not have any argument. It's like a blank argument. Some function should have, or it is necessary to have, like print. Okay. So you need to print something. So it should have some argument. So you remember that inside the print, I said double quote my first quote, right? But you may find some function where there is no, argument required. We will see that. Okay. But how you identify? You will identify by if there is a name and there is a bracket. Okay. So there is this, that is a function. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's stop it here and we will continue tomorrow from here, and we will see data types. What are the different data types that you can use in Python? And slowly and gradually we will move to data structure and many more things that we are coming up. Okay, thank you. So I think now we can stop the session, Praveen.
So definitely, sir. And thanks for wonderfully initiating this Python module. We believe that our participant will enjoy learning with your experiences. So thanks, Avinash sir, and we will share the video recording of this session with you as soon as possible. And don't forget to attend the interview of Dr. Benjamin Moore tomorrow. So I'm just sharing the pamphlet. So Dr. Benjamin Moore is currently an Ensemble Outreach Project Manager at one of the best institute of the world, that is the European Bioinformatics Institute, EMBL, Welcome Genome Campus, UK. So Dr. Moore will be sharing his experiences, that is how he got a PhD in Oxford University, then how he got a job in the European Bioinformatics Institute, and what is the future of bioinformatics and how you can become bioinformaticians. These are some of the questions that we will discuss with Dr. Benjamin Moore. So this is a part of our monthly webinar series. We will invite one distinguished personality every month for sharing his story, success story, both from academia as well as from the industry. So I also invite Dr. Avinash Mishra for tomorrow's interview session.
Definitely, Praveen, I will be there.
So the session will be before your self session, that is 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time.
So it's a live streaming, right?
Yeah, live streaming, and we will share the live streaming link in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can we get the recording of this?
Yeah, recording will be shared. Recording will be shared with you. Recording will be shared with you in the WhatsApp group. Also, we will share it on our newsletter, LinkedIn newsletter. So please subscribe our newsletter. We will also share one important Ensemble Genome Browser workshop in our newsletter in coming issues. So with these words, now I seek permission of Dr.
So before ending the session, Praveen, just one suggestion for all of you guys. for this the coding part that we are doing for this series of Python series, that just be patient, okay? Just be patient, because I can understand that you might be thinking a little bit ahead, and that is good, which means that you have interest. But at the same time, you also have to be or sync with the speed that we are going with, okay? And believe me, at the end of this 10, 15 or 20 days, whatever we are going to have it, you will have a very sound understanding on Python and also on machine learning, okay? So just we all need to have a little bit more patience, because if you are thinking that, okay, what is that and what is this, those kind of question comes when something is interesting. It's like a movie, when we are seeing any movie, at every point of time when there is something very interesting, we back of the mind we are thinking that the next scene will be this, okay? But the good thing is that movie will go with its own pace, and you will see everything at the end, and there will be a climax also. So just to have some patience, okay? That's my last point. Okay, thank you.
So one thing Decode Life is guaranteeing: if you follow model of Dr. Avinash Mishra, surely you will get something you can't forget throughout your life. That's my word. So be patient and follow Dr. Avinash. So the purpose behind this workshop is to make this workshop as comprehensive as possible. People are delivering Python and machine learning in just 3, 4, 5 sessions, and we have kept 21 sessions. And as out of these 21 sessions, 16 are exclusively reserved for this Python-based data science and machine learning. So guys, please watch or attend the sessions of Dr. Avinash, Dr. Satya, and Dr. Salman Sadullah Osmani for gaining something interesting.
Okay.
Thanks. And now I will seek permission of Dr. Avinash for
Yes,
ending.
please, Praveen, go ahead. Thank you.